Hi, this is Bob Kay from the AMD World Championship. We're here for Sturgis 2010, and I have with me Sergio from Sbay Motors. This is our production class, one of the entries here, and Sergio has come up with kind of a unique entry, kind of a high-tech Street Fighter bobber. So let me ask you, Sergio, what was your design inspiration, objective? What were you trying to do here when you were thinking about this whole project?
Well, back home in Spain, we all run Ducatis and the Jab bikes, and I was tired of getting passed over with my Softail. So we decided that it was time to build up something with a V-twin engine that we could really go for the Jabs and for the Italians, and that was the basic inspiration to build up this motorcycle. It's based with a V-twin engine, but it's meant to run and lean and fight against the Italians and the Japanese bikes.
Well, I certainly can see that. It has a really raw, kind of really aggressive Street Fighter look to it. One thing you can't help is just the huge backbone of the frame. I'm sure there's some kind of lubricant capacity or something in there. So what is that, oil running the tank and the frame? And what do we have going on here with this combination of the tank and the frame?
Okay, well, the main theme of the bike is the lightness. It has to be really light, so we made everything in aluminium. And the backbone is a 6061 T6, which is a really strong aluminium. And for space, and we had to keep everything to the minimum, so we chose to use the top tube as as an oil tank, which holds 3.4 liters. Okay, and then next to the aluminium is the fuel tanks, which are connected inside, and they hold 14 liters of gas.
Those fuel tanks are pretty unique. They really kind of fit in there nice and tight and wrap around that engine. That must have been some design challenges, so you kind of get everything in tight there and still have some serviceability. How did you go about figuring out the layout configuration with the engine and that frame and tank setup?
Well, the tanks are built, first we build them with foam, we shape them up, and the battery it's inside the tanks, all the electric system and everything. So there's a lot of man hours in the tanks. And well, we build them in foam, as I said, and we shape them in fiberglass, we did the mold, and then finally we did the whole thing in carbon fiber and we cured it in the oven to the vacuum bag.
Well, that carbon fiber, again, just adds to the whole high-tech look. Let's talk a little bit about the engine they have here. What type of engine do we have? Why did you choose that? And have you made any modifications to it?
The engine is a basic, is a RevTech 110, and there's no modification whatsoever to keep the cost low. And what we did is we had the engine from a friend of mine. He just said, okay, you can borrow my engine and build me a bike. So we used it, but any Evo type engine would suit on the bike. And the gearbox is a 6-speed RevTech. So we chose not to make any modifications to keep the price low.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about some of the styling into the back. While the seat looks very traditional, it also looks very comfortable, kind of coming back into a cafe Street Fighter style. So how did you kind of figure out how you wanted to do this and attach it to the main body of the frame?
Well, at the beginning, we just wanted to put the seat on and no cowl, no rear cowl or anything, but just the lines didn't flow. So eventually we built up the rear cowl with all the electric wiring and everything inside, and just the whole thing sort of came out by itself.
Well, it does seem to match well. You just can't help but note of the massive, aggressive front end. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the handling capabilities. Tell me a little bit about what type of front end and brakes and wheels that you're using on this fine bike.
All right, the front end, since we're going to ride it real hard on the circuit, we went for the best you can get, which is the all-in type of front forks, and we did sort of a massive triple tree, because when hard braking, the bottom tree that suffers a lot, so we really build it up, and all of the top tree, you can see the handlebars, you can adjust them, you can put them straight, ride it straight on, or you can lay them back depending on the pilot and how he's going to ride the bike. So all that we design it in CAD and we machine it on the CNC.
Well, I know that this is in the production category. Is this a prototype bike, or is this something that's available for production right now?
No, this is a production. Well, this is a proto, and we're building right now. We're building 4 bikes for different people around Europe, and we expect to start selling them here in the U.S. But this is the basic proto, and the bikes that are coming out, they're exactly the same.
Okay, well, once you get up and running for production, I'm sure a lot of people want to know is once they place their order, how long do they have to wait to get one of these fine bikes?
Right now, we're getting about 6 months time frame finished for the bike finished. We don't take into consideration any modifications except paint or nothing else really, because if we change stuff, then we change the whole thing of the bike. So there's no modifications, and but all the 4 bikes we've been ordered, they want exactly the same color, same carbon fiber, everything is the same.
Well, again, the AMD show is really based on design and engineering, so it's really nice to see the forefront of some of these designs we've seen in the past actually come alive as a production motorcycle. I know Sergis is a very busy time, Sergio, so we'd like to thank you for taking the time to have this interview and get this exciting machine out in people, and we'll have them get in touch with you. When do you plan to be in the States and have these available?
Well, I think we're going now to San Francisco because we have to meet up with some people over there. Then we expect to race at Bonneville at the end of the month, and then we go back to Spain. So, but I mean, I'm open up to anybody who wants one.
All right, well, you heard that, folks. If you want the latest Street Fighter from Spain available soon in the U.S., give Sergio a call. Thanks again, Sergio. We appreciate you coming out and hope to see you again at next year's AMD World Championship.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
World Champion, Production Manufacturer, 2010.
Pretty special award coming up. Been a lot of changes in the production class over the last 7 years since the inception of this show. This bike is one of a limited series of 100. 7 of them have already been sold. It is not something that is produced in a 5-minute production line. It's a handmade, very special motorcycle from Spain. Sbay Motors, Sergio with a bike flying. Also the winner of the Lieutenant Show in Spain. Come on up.
The AMD World Championship of Custom Bike Building Vidcast. We are sponsored in part by SNS, Custom Works, Rivera Primo.